Blacklight forest, growing tie-dye trees, piglet caterpillars, rocking horse, butterflies free, kaleidoscope sky over a hot air balloon moon. Cameron and Lilia, Cameron and Lilia, Arctic mammoth at the Yeti's tea party, penguins and octopus having coffee, muddy farms for the chickens, bees. Cameron and Lilia, Cameron and Lilia. Drive your tractor through a dog's tail. Ride your flamingo through a rainbow trail. Lilia. This one isn't mine, but I feel like this would be fun to kind of read. That is, if I read it in the right order. And even if I don't, I'm not really too upset about it because it's, like I said, it's not mine. Taking a walk back to the house, getting kind of dark out. I think Johnny's drunk again. Almost hit me with his truck. I don't know, maybe I should get on the other side of the road.
Finish with it.
I'm definitely try to fucking duck if he's trying to pack things out of the kids and probably going to stores. Anyways, I don't care. Alright. This is something that I've saved and never read. I'm kind of glad I'm doing this. Alright. Neuroplasticity, 4 steps to change your brain and habits.
I guess my luck would be as they say that.
Posted on June 21st, 2010 by Dr. Kim, Dr. Hill.
But the reason why
your plastic brain. Perhaps you have heard the notion that you can change your brain. In fact, scientists have proven that your brain is being shaped, molded, and changed by experiences every day. This is referred to as neuroplasticity. Just as a plastic water bottle becomes pliable when heated, your brain is being influenced and shaped by what is happening in your life. This single scientific breakthrough has significantly altered our understanding of how to change habits, increase happiness, improve health, and even change our genetics.
Doing this not only to add more audio to the songs, but because I'm getting back into minimalism.
Neuroplasticity has evolved as a study of the plastic and malleable nature of the brain. Rewiring your brain is a dynamic process that happens within the relationship of your mind, brain, and body. They're intertechnically interconnected as a sophisticated system to ensure your survival and homeostasis status. Sorry. What happens to one of these systems has a direct impact on the others. 1. What does this mean for you? You can use your mind to change your brain and increase your happiness levels. People are just as happy as they make up their minds to be. Abraham Lincoln. According to Michael Merzenich from the book, The Brain That Changes Itself, practicing a new habit under the right conditions can change hundreds of millions and possibly billions of the connections between the nerve cells and our neural pathways. The human brain is made up of an estimated 100 billion neurons, making a total of 100 trillion neural connections. This is a lot of neural power right at our fingertips. Let's look at a demonstration of neuroplasticity from brain science research. When you engage in practices that increase feelings of happiness, you increase activity in your brain's left prefrontal cortex. As you continue to feel happy, your strengths. As you continue to feel happy, you strengthen this activity and solidify the brain pathways that make it easier to replicate feelings of happiness. People who are optimistic have more activity in their left prefrontal cortex than people who are pessimistic. Neuroplasticity has opened doors of hope for transferring mental health issues such as depression and anxiety, for changing unhealthy habits, and for increasing the potential to experience lasting happiness. Brain plasticity appears to be the psychological basis for the possibility of transferring our minds. By mobilizing our thoughts and practicing new ways of thinking, we can reshape our nerve cells and change the way our brains work. Dalai Lama and Howard Cutler III. Neuroplasticity. Here comes trouble. Neuroplasticity. How do you use your mind to change your brain? Mental activity strengthens the neural pathways in your brain associated with what you focus on with your thoughts and feelings. To oversimplify this, but nonetheless clearly state what is happening. If you focus on happiness with your thoughts and feelings, you strengthen happiness pathways. If you focus on stress with your thoughts and feelings, you strengthen stress pathways. Every thought you think and feeling you feel strengthens the circuitry in your brain known as your neural pathways. Neural pathways are the basis of your habits of thinking, feeling, and acting. They are what you believe to be true and why you do what you do. Donald Hebb's landmark discovery in 1949. Neurons that fire together wire together. Best explains the process of forming, strengthening, and solidifying neural pathways. 4. We experience these pathways as our patterns in important areas of our life, such as relationships, food, money, career, health, and happiness levels. Brain pathways. Hiking trails are similar to your brain pathways. Just as a grassy path becomes flattened, matted, and worn away every time a hiker walks over it, as you focus on something with your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, you strengthen your brain pathways. Over the days, months, and years, as well-traveled hiking trail becomes a well-worn pathway. Compare this to a trail that is not well-traveled, or perhaps a faint trail made by small animals. These trails might be noticeable to the naked eye, however their visibility pales in comparison to the trails that get higher foot traffic. This is great news for making desired changes. As long as you know how to develop and strengthen neural pathways, you can change just about anything you want. This is also why the habits you have had for many years are the most challenging to change. They have carved the most well-worn grooves or deepest trails in your brain. Thus, the pathway related to getting dressed in the morning at 50 years old is much deeper and worn than the pathway you had at 8 years old. Create new habits. Fortunately, as you practice traveling down new pathways, you naturally weaken old pathways. 5. As you think similar thoughts and feel similar feelings, you either create new habits and beliefs or solidify old ones. Eventually, through repetition and feeling intensity, your new habits run on autopilot. 6. For example, if you consciously focus on exercising 4 times a week by reviewing your goals daily, talking to others for support, visualizing your success, getting to bed early, and meeting with a fitness trainer weekly, you rewire your new habits of exercise. However, If you rewire your, however, if you don't consciously direct your mind's attention onto your exercise goal, you'll find your strongest existing patterns of sleeping in will run on autopilot. Existing and often undesired automatic habits drive your brain, body, and behavior. Nevertheless, over time and under the right conditions, you can change old habits and create the habits of lasting happiness. You might be asking if my brain has changed as easily as overheating a plastic container in the microwave. Why is it so hard to stick to a goal, new diet, fitness program, or stop a habit of self-sabotage? Path of least resistance. Most people live on autopilot most of the time. This is because neural pathways operate under the law of least effort, or path of least resistance. The most worn path is the strongest and easiest to travel. It's like traveling down a superhighway or Olympic Mongol ski run. It allows you to conserve mental energy and respond quickly to your life experiences. This type of automatic conditioning can be seen in the body memory of professional athletes or top piano players. It can also be seen the last time you drove home from work yet didn't recall the entire trip. The simple truth of the matter is that most people are not aware that they are recycling yesterday's old news. It's been said that by the time we are 35 years old, up to 90% of what we think, feel, and do is recycled from our past. At first blush, this can sound a bit depressing. It is true. We are creatures of habit, and as such tend to take a path of least resistance whenever possible. We develop beliefs and habits of behavior pertaining to our relationships, money, career, health, driving, dressing, fitness, and our bodies. We then look to confirm and validate these beliefs in our everyday experiences.
Thank you for reading.
Habits are helpful in the case of driving a car, mastering a work skill, or learning a computer program. However, they can be highly limiting when applied to our relationships, bodies, and happiness levels. This is one reason why many people set the same goals each year about getting fit and eating healthy. Rest assured, change is absolutely possible, yet in order to stop recycling old habits or eating or exercising, you need to understand how to rewire your brain. As you look at forming new neural pathways, you're going to confront your existing beliefs that keep your current neural pathways in place. If you look at creating new neural pathways for feeling happier as an example, you will likely be examining beliefs that are keeping you stressed and unhappy. Beliefs play a central role in maintaining your patterns of stress or happiness. What are beliefs? Beliefs are often regarded in your mind as the truth or facts of a situation. In reality, they are thoughts you have been thinking and emotions you have been feeling over and over. They are strong opinions at best, but they aren't necessarily right or wrong. They are based on experiences from your past that have been validated repeatedly over the years by similar new experiences. For instance, if you grew up with parents who didn't show much physical affection, you may have developed that belief that displaying affection in public is not how proper couples should act. As you get older and begin to date, you may notice feeling uncomfortable when your boyfriend/girlfriend tries to put an arm around you, hold your hand, or kiss you in public. You may not even be sure why you feel so uncomfortable, but in your mind you believe it's wrong and improper to be affectionate in public.
It's really funny.
This belief may cause a lot of tension in your relationships. Interestingly, beliefs are typically not even based on facts of the experiences, but rather interpretations of the facts. In any given situation, there are facts and then there are your interpretations. Generally, these two factors are very different. This is why 5 children growing up in the same family can have 5 different interpretations of their childhood experience.
And slowed it down. That was like 22 minutes. On top.
Most often we live out of our interpretations as if they were facts. This is where we get in trouble.
Read it for the first time.
Let's return to the example of your parents who didn't show physical affection. There is a multitude of reasons why they might not have shown affection.
So After
These
all the
reasons typically have
noises
more
and
to do with
everything,
the
it
health
kinda
of their
goes
connection and
into
communication than
nothing
with
but
any ideal morality or
reading
right
that
slash wrong
article.
behavior regarding public
And,
displays of affection.
uh,
If you don't question or examine the interpretations
the
that from this
sound
belief,
of
then
the
you will
keyboard
likely stay
slowed
stuck
down.
in the belief as if there were
Besides
truth or
that,
facts
that's
about
just
how
like
to act
the
when in a
after.
relationship.
So I want
Consequently,
to make this thing
you may
really
never
crazy so
experience
that,
the magic of a romantic
just
walk
about
on the
full
bench
24
holding your
minutes is
partner's
like,
hand.
wow, like that's a lot of
You
noises.
don't have to look for, and you don't have to look
So,
far into differing
it probably
political,
will take me
religious, and moral beliefs to see
quite a few
how and
days
why
to,
our interpretations
do
get us
that
in trouble.
because no matter what I put
Interestingly, once a belief is in place,
it's all
you
kinda
spend the rest of your
come
life
to some sort of
defending
end
it.
where it's just
This is
like one
because of the
thing.
biological
And I don't want
bias
me
that
reading
prioritize
an article about,
self-preservation, which translate into being right.
I want it
Let's
to
say
kinda
you
go
want to
around a few different things.
experience greater happiness. In order to create new neural pathways of happiness, you have to believe it's right for you to be happy. Ironically, although most people want to be happy, they have conflicting subconscious beliefs regarding actually being happy. Stress is a path of least resistance. In line with understanding how the path of least resistance works regarding outdated beliefs, it also points to the self-sabotaging potential of stress. Dubbed the epidemic of the 21st century, stress is a major saboteur of
I
health,
figured this would be a lot of fun to
of healthy neuroplasticity. In its true to form plastic nurture, the brain changes into what it's most influenced by. Consequently, because of the predominance of chronic stress, the analytical brain is highly influenced by the emotional brain. The repetition and emotional intensity of the stress response easily overrides feelable attempts at positivity. Instead, the analytical brain changes in structure to match the stress. Norman, I'll just call him Dodge, refers to this phenomenon. Neuroplasticity has the power to produce more flexible but also more rigid behaviors. Holy shit. A phenomenon called the plastic paradox. Ironically, some of our most stubborn habits and disorders are products of our plasticity. Once a particular plastic change occurs in the brain and becomes well established, it can prevent other changes from occurring. It's by understanding both the positive and negative effects of plasticity that we can truly understand the extent of healing possibilities. Change that isn't supported by the nervous system isn't lasting change. Stress continues to be a daily contender in modern times, with 70% of people reporting chronic stress. According to a study on stress in America, fear of mass shootings is the most common source of stress in 2019, with healthcare coming in a close second. Other top stressors include immigration, safety, discrimination, acts of terrorism, climate change, sexual harassment, financial worries, workplace stress, and social media pressures. Diffusing stress through self-awareness and self-regulation, strategies that target nervous systems regulation are vital components of rewiring neural pathways. In our counseling practice, we help clients utilize the top 4 conditions for supporting neuroplasticity and rewiring their brain. Some of the mind-body practices we use include meditation, somatic therapy, and brain spotting therapy. 1. Positive emotion. A thought without intense emotion and feeling has no meaning, no value, no real power to effectively engage your neural pathways. And intensity of emotion and feeling is required to take an experience and make it a solidified habit. The more emotion you engage, the more neurons you activate to form well-worn pathways. Emotions and feelings act as the glue that binds you to experiences. Emotional energy is the juice or fuel behind your thoughts that give you power to memories, goals, hopes, and dreams. 7. Feeling
Too often I dream about wrestling.
genuinely and emotionally connected to your intention to be happy with feelings of hope, trust, and positivity. Practice. Do something every day that you enjoy. While you're engaging in this good feeling activity, focus on the feelings of achieving your goals and intentions. Repetition and practice. Neural pathways are strengthened into habits through the repetition and practice of thinking, feeling, and acting. Practice. Start your morning passionately, declaring aloud your goals for today. Declarations send power to your subconscious mind on a mission to find solutions to fulfill your goals. Visualization. Visualization is almost as powerful as the real thing, given your brain cannot tell the difference between something real or imagined. Research shows that anytime you are thinking that are engaging and thus conditioning neural pathways. Consequently, whether you are reminiscing about the past, thinking about the present, or anticipating the future, you are strengthening the neural networks associated with whatever you are thinking about. The most important part of using visualization is to strengthen healthy habits, is to engage your emotion. Emotion provides the fuel to enlist more neural power to creating powerful neural networks. Practice. Spend 10 to 15 minutes per day visualizing yourself achieving your goals. This should be so vivid, dynamic, and pleasing that it easily engages positive emotion.
I brought her into my mom's house.
4. Meditation. The true masters of manifesting meditate daily. When you meditate, you slow down the nonsense, underground chatter of the busy mind and access the calm, abiding wisdom of your inner awareness and the skill of laser focus. Meditation is the process of relaxing the body and quieting the mind. In order to tap into the benefits of neuroplasticity, you have to disengage the strength response and stimulate the relaxation response. When you're stressed, your brain regularly defers to the strongest neural pathways out of survival and the path of least resistance. Consequently, during strength, you do not have access to newly formed neural networks because they have not been tried and proven yet. Most people live a perpetual state of stress, believing, feeling intense, time pressured, or overwhelmed is the norm. This is simply not true, and as the result of undisciplined mind and body. The prefrontal cortex is the actual mechanism in the brain that meditation activates, which helps the body shift from the stress response to the relaxation response. It has been called the clutch that releases the gas pedal and applies the brakes. Research shows that meditation increases gray matter in the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex of meditators is actually larger than that of non-meditators. Researchers at Harvard, Yale, and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology were the first to discover that meditation alters the structure and function of the brain, and specifically the prefrontal cortex. According to Sarah Lazar, leader of the study and psychologist at Harvard Medical School, our data suggests that meditation practice can promote cortical plasticity in adults in areas important for cognitive and emotional processing and well-being. 8. Practice. Spend 10 minutes each day sitting still while focusing on your in-breath and out. Retrieve your mind anytime it wanders into anything but your breath. Meditation is the highest form of mental training that disciplines the mind to focus on what you want and allows the nervous system to bring about homeostasis. If you want to learn more about how these 4 steps can be applied in your life, click here and start the journey with the Happy Map, your roadmap to the habit of success. Coaching and counseling. Hillary Stokes, PhD, and Kim Ward, PhD, have been a team for 20 years, specializing in mind, body, spirit, psychology. They are the authors of the best-selling books, The Happy Map, Your Roadmap to the Habit of Happiness and Manifesting Mindset, The 6 Steps Formula for Attracting Your Goals and Dreams, and founders of Authenticity Associates Coaching and Counseling. They're passionate about combining the best of holistic and traditional approaches to health and happiness. If you are interested in learning the answers to the most frequently asked questions on how to decrease stress and increase happiness, sign up for their free video series. his heart was ready to unfold. Butterflies come to play. He was pouring tea, black coals over the sea. Fireflies guided to pray. Your love is all I'm ever needing. Pink as a cow you're feeding. Hearts alight as we interlace. I don't want to live alone. I want to take me home under the full moon. She's my little kitty cat. I love her so. I see